Hello everyone, it is me, Jared Gaming here, and welcome to another Splatoon 2 Weapons Guide video. And today, what we got here is the Rapid Blaster Pro. And the reason why I'm doing this is because, well, it's kind of a way to say thank you for almost 2,000 subscribers, or 2,000 subscribers. I don't know when I'm uploading this, I don't know if I will be uploading this, but let's just get that out of the way and let's just get started. Alright, now let's get started with the cons of this weapon, which there aren't really too many pros and cons with this weapon, but the ones that I can name in particular are these. The cons for this weapon are pretty weird, so they could get really hard to get used to. It is incredibly bad at up-close combat. I mean just really bad, because it's worse than the Jet Squelcher's up-close combat. Because of the fact that it shoots so straightforward, that the fire rate isn't really that great, at least, it's going to be really hard to get your directs up close. Jump shots are also very inaccurate. You don't really feel this with shooters often because of its fire rate, but you'll feel it with this weapon. It is very inaccurate. So getting directs is very random sometimes. And it can only do 12 shots from a full ink tank, which isn't bad, but technically speaking, to compare to a lot of weapons that can do way more shots, 12 shots isn't really that much. And one direct hit isn't really enough for a kill. You have to get at least 2 directs or a direct at a splash damage in order to actually get your kill. Because getting a direct only does 85 damage, unlike other blasters that could do 125 damage when getting a direct. And yeah. However, of course, there are a few pros with this weapon. No pun intended. This is the longest ranged blaster in the game by far, at least. This is also the 3rd best blaster when it comes to fire rate, or at least in comparison of fire rate. So maybe it can be pretty good, but technically speaking, there are, like I said, a few weapons that do have a better fire rate than this blaster, which is why I place it on 3rd, which is still pretty good. But the best thing about this blaster is that since it's absolute long reach and it's pretty decent fire rate, it turfs better than a lot of blasters that you might know. And since because of its absolute long reach that can sometimes be outmatched, this can pressure basically almost any weapon in the game, or any weapon, depending on how you play with it. The way you're going to put these pros into use is going to be something that may not be as hard as it seems. Since because this is the longest range blaster, it is very hard to match against something like this. So low range weapons are under the category. Weapons that will outrange you, however, Jet Squelchers, Heavy Splatlings, Chargers, and other weapons that match those kind of ranges. Since because this is the 3rd most fast fire rate blaster, you still don't want to do that up close combat. Since because even though it does have a good fire rate, it's not as good as something like the Jet Squelcher, or at the very minimum, the Splatter Shot, or even the Splatter Shot Junior. Just because it is pretty hard to miss with those weapons, so you may miss a lot with this weapon in up-close combat, like I said. It's just because this weapon turfs a lot better than most blasters. It can cover a lot of ground, which is why it can pressure so many weapons in the game. Therefore, which is why this weapon is pretty much used all the time. Now let's talk about the kits of the both Rapid Blasters. The regular Rapid Blaster Pro has Toxic Mist and Ink Storm, while the Deco version has Splash Wall and Ink Armor. They both kind of like depict on how you want to play. Either you want to play offensively or defensively. Personally for me, I play with the vanilla one, which is the one with Toxic Mist and Ink Storm. Playing with Toxic Mist and Ink Storm allows you to play more offensively, like I said before. Toxic Mist allows you to keep your opponents trapped inside while you're doing splash damage to them. So it's kind of like keeping them inside one area until they finally die or they somehow escape. Which more than likely, they're not going to if they're a weapon that can't outrange you. Inkstorm, on the other hand, is a really good special as well. Even though your Rapid Blaster Pro is pretty good at turfing coverage, Inkstorm can also assist you with that, and can also push back your opponents from pushing in just in case they get a little, just a little too close. The Deco version, however, is more of playing defensively. Splash Wall is more of used to protect yourself and or your teammates, and while you throw the Splash Wall, you're at it, poking at them, while they can't even shoot you unless they go around the Splash Wall. which more than likely while you're attacking them, more than likely they can't go around your wall. Ink armor is relatively the same thing, except it sends extra health to all of your teammates, and is very useful for most situations, such as when you're pushing in for clan blitz, or for the Rainmaker, or when you're on the tower yourself. Now for the gear abilities. Now, technically speaking, you can use any gear ability you want, but the ones that I usually use are pretty rather basic, but let me go over them. Ink Saver main, just to conserve the amount of shots that you fire, especially since you have Toxic Mist or Splash Wall that will consume a portion of your ink to make you shoot only like 3 to 4 shots afterwards. Or you could even add on top of that Ink Saver sub, so that both your efficiency of ink and your efficiency of your sub weapon consuming your ink doesn't really deplete too much. Ink recovery up in case if you want to stay on the battlefield for as long as possible, and to also stay submerged to your ink as short as possible. Special charge up just in case, mostly because even though Rapid Blaster Pro does turf pretty well, it does feel nice to get your special every few seconds or so, just so you can always be on the battlefield with your special. And special power up because most specials really do rely on how powerful it is or how long it lasts. And that's pretty much it, guys. Apologies for the fact that this video, I don't know how long this is, but could be a little bit shorter than previous videos before, or if this didn't go as much detail as you're hoping for, but I don't usually make these go into super large amount of detail. I just try to keep it as basic as possible in order for you to get a basic idea of what you need to do at least. Well, anyways, guys, this was the Rapid Blaster Pro Weapons Guide video. If you enjoyed watching this and would like some more, give it a like, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you want some more Splatoon or Nintendo related content, and I'll see you guys whatever we do next. Take care, everyone, and God bless you all.